I just DoorDashed on the new on-time rate for the first time, and I want to give you my unfiltered take. 5 things that I learned on this new ratings threshold. If you don't know what it is, it's on-time rate. It's in your ratings tab, and it measures the percent of times you're on time based on the initial estimated time of arrival, the ETA, on that offer card when you get the assignment. And you might be thinking like,
well, that probably goes into Dasher rewards or overall Dasher rating or something. I don't really need to worry about on-time rates.
Even if you have the original on time or early, it doesn't matter. If you're like, I don't really need to worry about it. Well, DoorDash actually says, quote, consistently on-time Dashers will get more opportunities to earn. So if you care about having opportunities to earn, watch this video. I've been hearing that more and more Dashers in more and more marketplaces are getting on-time rate. And again, I just got this. This is not the first wave of expansion, maybe the second or third of on-time rates. I'm in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania for context. So let's take a look at the offer. Number one, what I've learned since researching this stuff, like since on-time rate came out, there's still not enough buffer. Take a look. I got this assignment at 4:33 p.m. $11, 2.7 miles, delivery in 20 minutes, right? That's the estimate on the offer card. It says delivery by 4:53. So fast forward, when I completed this delivery, this was my only late delivery. Why? Now, I went A to B, as I always do, from the pickup to the drop off. Take a look at the late screen or the on-time rate screen, whatever you want to call it here. I accepted at 4:33 p.m. I picked up 1 minute early. It was right down the road. Friendship Beer Distributor at 4:37 p.m. So what happened, and I was trying to think about this when I was filming this video here, what happened in those next 20 minutes that caused me to be 4 minutes late? I caught a decently long, 5-way red light, so I had to wait for that entire cycle. Okay, fine. A little bit of traffic. Now, this was going to a senior care facility, some kind of facility, right? So I pull up and there is a livery, like a taxi or something, transportation car in front of the main entrance, which is where I needed to make my delivery. Now, I could have just met my customer. This was alcohol delivery. So I needed to meet the customer right there at the door. But since it was a senior facility, the gentleman was helping an older woman exit the vehicle, get her walker, and enter the building. And then there was a plant there, so I couldn't really squeeze by them. I didn't want to be rude, and I'm assuming I got some time. Eventually, I say, excuse me, and I squeeze myself through there, and the customer is waiting right there at the front. Now we need a little bit more time to take the ID, scan the ID, check the fronts, verify it, and hand off the alcohol in this case. That's the red lights, and then just waiting a few minutes was too much, and it caused me to be late. But this rolls into kind of point number 2. It doesn't seem consistent. And please share down below any of your thoughts on on-time rate, because this was my first shift with on-time rate and testing it. So make sure to subscribe. This is what I'm going to be doing here. I'm going to be testing on-time rate and, of course, other gig apps. I had this offer later in the same shift here. It is 6:26 p.m. Delivery by 7:09 p.m. That is the time that we're using for on-time rates. Okay, 7:09 p.m. I'm a little confused because that is 43 minutes. Yet, if we look at the on-time rate screen or whatever, it says expected delivery 64 minutes. I know that they can change things like your arrival time, even your delivery time, but the one that matters is that initial delivery time. Now, what's inconsistent here with the time, this one had even more delays than the one that I was late on. So this stacked offer had at least 8 to 10 minutes road blockage because of a stuck vehicle. I was just sitting there, at least I'd say 8 to 10 minutes. There is delay number 1, already longer than that delivery I just told you. And then there was a second delay. Delay number 2 was an access issue delivering to this second and final customer. And that's when I had the delay. Both of them were to the leg of this second customer. So I was waiting outside a locked door, had to correspond, had to wait for them. They came down, then I handed it off, then it was delivered. And yet I was still early to everything here. How was I early to everything with a 18-wheeler blocking the road, 8-10 minutes, and then another 5-ish minutes delay for access issues? Now, right here, it might help us to look at, well, how does DoorDash determine this original delivery time? So they say the delivery time shown on the offer screen is calculated to ensure Dashers can deliver orders on time and safely. It factors in expected store wait times, driving distance, traffic, speed limits, and other data. And then number 3 here, what I learned after that first shift, we need some more detail when it comes to on-time rate. Disputes. So go back to this late screen right here. I can technically, you can see dispute my rating. So I need to know, how many times can I dispute? How many times can I tap that button? Does it always go to a human reviewer? Is it simply AI? When I do dispute, do I need screenshots? Can I add anything else to it? Now here, DoorDash says, well, okay, how do I dispute? They say you can dispute late deliveries directly within the app, kind of like I just showed you. If you are unable to dispute at any moments, completing additional deliveries will enable you to dispute successfully again. So again, we need more clarity. Well, okay, how many disputes do I get in 100 deliveries? Because on-time rate is measuring your last 100 deliveries. This might remind you, this is something else, of contract violations. Actually, that's another point. Let's get more clarity on this contract violations for extreme lateness, and that is different than on-time rate as well. Too many contract violations, you can be deactivated. We still don't have any clarity on okay, how many of each kind? Is it a certain amount and a certain amount of time frame? Even if it does vary by city, what is the threshold for my city? We have deactivation thresholds for other stuff like completion rates and customer rating. But the lateness-based contract violation, they give us an example. It's like, all right, if you arrive 10 minutes late to this pickup and then you're still 10 minutes late to the drop-off, the order will not be considered late. And I feel like I understand a lot of this stuff. I feel like I'm pretty well educated and I can help you here. And I've been doing this stuff for 10 years. And I'm confused about lateness-based violations. What's the threshold for lateness? Now we're comparing to on-time rate, etc. Like I mentioned, I want more clarity on the initial ETA that I showed you. So the one, I basically had a small delay, but I was late. That other one, I had a good amount of delays. It took even more time, but I was early. And I understand, I showed you, they use Google Maps, they use historical similar delivery data. They use a lot of different things. I don't want to feel like this is being micromanaged. And I get okay, 90% completion rate, fine. I don't really cancel that often. Customer rating 4.2, yeah, that's not going to really be a problem. But now it's starting to feel like a little bit more. I just want to dash and have a good time, make some money. I'm always going A to B. And I know we want to discourage driving on different apps at the same time, like you have an Uber Eats and a DoorDash. Yeah, I agree with that. We don't want to do that. But it's starting to lean more into that micromanaging when I have to sweat every single leg of every single delivery. or at least it's on my mind now versus something I would never have thought about before, on-time rate. And that kind of leans into number 4. Like, this is something I don't want to think about. Like, it should be running in the background. It should be so smooth, like customer rating. You know, do you really sweat your customer rating? You shouldn't. As long as you have decent customer service, you'll have a fine rating. Any Dasher that goes A to B on any delivery, and Shop and Deliver doesn't qualify for on-time rate at the time of filming this video, just so you know. But anyone else that's going A to B should have zero problem having like basically a 95 plus, like almost perfect. I'll even give you 92.3% on-time rate. It's not the Dasher's fault if there's traffic, train, stuck 18-wheeler, whatever it is. The system needs to give, I don't know if it's just flat out more of a buffer or the algorithm for prior delivery times, whatever it is, it just needs to get more fair. And I know that's where we're trying to get, but even that small delay one, I don't feel like that should have been late. But hold on here, there is one pro, there you go, of this new on-time rate is okay, fine. Yes, it is. We'll say maybe, well, they say transparent. Right now it's okay, fine, but it's at least more fluid. It's changing faster than the early on time that never ever changed. So at least it's changing. What does that mean for you? Kind of like contract violations, because contract violations, I believe, right? It's the last 100 deliveries. It'll fall off. If you do a good amount of deliveries, like, yeah, a late delivery, whatever, it's going to fall off as you do more deliveries. The same thing with contract violation. But the argument is I should not even have that in the first place. Let me make it clear. I don't hate on-time rate. I don't think it's completely broken. I was late for the one. And yes, there was something, the attendant helping the woman go inside. I had to wait a little bit. I didn't want to push past them, et cetera. Fine. There was a little bit of a delay there. Completely broken would have looked like, being late to 30% of the offers. It was just one. And then I did have a big buffer on that other one, etc. So it was just one. It's not completely broken. Maybe we're moving in the right direction. I'm still not a big fan of that original ETA thing. So I think we need to maybe use updated ETAs based on, when delays happen and stuff. I don't know. Let me know what else, they can improve for on-time rates. But a fixed version will work cleanly. Going A to B should have no problem being at the top of on-time rates. And we should never even really think about on-time rate.